Bump a little pussy, hoe, get some shell toss. Slapping rap bitches and making bail, hoe. Two-tone Cartier, match the nails, hoe. No competition, these bitches fail, hoe. Curbing, no curbing, my shit is late.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Isha, and I'm back with another video in this mother. And I hope you in this mother, because if you in this mother, I'm in this mother, and we in this motherfucker together. So y'all, I've been meaning to drop this video for like the past 2 days, and so today's video is gonna be another girl talk. And today's girls talk is gonna be about why girls, females in general, are very misunderstood. You wanna know? I wanna know. The whole world wanna know. So let's just get into it. A double shot of this. Okay, so. Okay, so the first things first is let's touch up about why females are misunderstood. Okay, we are misunderstood because we have a hard time expressing our feelings, and instead of like us just like going in a straight line and trying to explain and express everything, like things always like end up sideways or up and down or around and stuff like that. So it's really hard for people to like try to understand what we're saying. Like, for instance, if you're trying to get your point across and people make it harder than what it has to be, of course you're going to end up yelling, you're going to end up screaming, irritated, crying, mad, hurt, and upset, because it's like, I just want you to understand what I'm trying to say and where I'm trying to come from, and it's like you're not understanding. So if people make it harder for us to express ourselves when it really shouldn't be that hard to understand where we're coming from, but then at the same time we say things in code and think that like people are supposed to understand. Like, we say things in code that we think people are supposed to understand, and we only know our own talk. You know what I'm saying? So say, for instance, if like if I say something like okay, let's just say that I feel like people been playing with me. Okay, let's just say that I say like, oh yeah, what's that one saying they be saying on TikTok? You better grab a mop because it's finna get sticky around here. Like, let's just say that I said that, and the person who I'm saying this to or trying to explain this to is like, huh, what are you talking about? But read in between the lines, like, oh yeah, I'm tired of people playing with me. I'm tired of feeling played. Like, it's like code like that, and it's hard for them to understand that because we tend to say things that only we get and understand. That's first things first. That's why we're misunderstood, because we only say things that we know and that we understand. Now, there are better ways that we can, you know what I'm saying, express ourselves, but it seems like only when you yelling at somebody, or when you're crying, or when you're breaking down, it's like when they finally understand you. And I feel like it shouldn't have to take for a person to go crazy or to go off for them to get their point across, and for you to like, for people in general to understand like the emotions and like the anger and the irritation, like to understand where that's coming from. If as a female, if people, it don't matter who it is, would take the time out and sit down and say, hey, you know what, I see that you're crying, I see that you're upset, let's sit down, let's talk, you know, saying, take a couple of deep breaths, breathe in, breathe out. Let's sit down, let's talk, and let's figure out why you're feeling the way that you're feeling. And because like, I feel like females are the most to be emotionally damaged growing up, because sometimes you don't have that comfort. Sometimes you don't have that reassurance. So like, as an adult, when you finally like understand things that happened like when you was a kid, now you realize like, oh yeah, that was wrong, that shouldn't happen. And then like, say relationships start getting messed up, bonds and relationships between like family members and stuff started getting messed up, and like all of that piles up on you to where you become a big old volcano and you just explode on everybody. So it's like, now everybody could get cut off, everybody could stop getting talked to, like change my number, move out of state, do all of that. Like, people do stuff like that because it's like they need that fresh start in their mentality, because like people need that fresh start in their mentality, because like going through the same thing over and over and over again, and going through the same cycle over and over and over again, it's gonna push you further mentally. It's gonna make you not want to be here. Like, mentally, it's gonna make you not want to be here. Mentally, you're gonna say, I don't want to keep going through this. And like, by that time, it's like, they already about to be planning your funeral. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to get a point across without realizing, like, hey, these people are only gonna understand me if I'm screaming, hollering, or crying and breaking down. Okay. So to work on that is, one way is, first of all, stop trying to get people to understand you. The only person that's gonna understand you is you. And from female to female, I learned to stop opening up to people, because people run back and they go tell stuff. So like, the biggest thing I'm really big on is journaling. If it's not nothing else that I'm big on, is journaling and going to a therapist and calling 988 and talking. Like, it's like, us as females, we go through so much emotionally and mentally that sometimes you just want to sit down and talk for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, because that's how much has built up over the years. Rather, if you've dealt with like a relationship, or like you just don't know how to deal with like certain people, certain family members and stuff like that, and you feel like the cycles is just keep going, and things like generational curses are real, and you just feel like you can't break from it. Therapy really does help. Journaling does help, and calling 988 does help. Because I'll tell y'all, sometimes when I had a therapist session, or if I start having like panic attacks and I can't can't control my breathing at the time, I do pick up my phone and call 988, and they're able to talk me down. You know what I'm saying? Because panic attacks are the worst things in the world, because you feel like you spiraling out of control, you losing control, that you're not within yourself, or that you're about to do something that you would never do. You know what I'm saying? So like, panic attacks are like the scariest thing on the planet, because you feel like your heart about to stop. You don't know if you're having a heart attack. Like, you don't know what's going on. So, but I'm very big on journaling, therapy, and 988. Like, because sometimes when you feel like you can't talk to certain people, because you really can't talk to certain people because they go back and tell stuff. So like, as a person, find a person that you like are like this with, like somebody that you could tell anything to, like somebody that you could tell certain things to, and they'll take it to their grave and they won't tell anybody. Like, even if y'all fall out, like, that your secrets will be safe with them. Like, find people like that. Like, don't just because like you cool with your cousin or something like that, you feel like that you could go tell them no, because you don't know if they gonna keep it to themselves or not. And people so quick to try to make it seem like you're insane and you're crazy, and the whole time you just trying to express yourself, and you know what I'm saying, let your feelings be known. So yes, get the help, and be lenient as a person. Be lenient on what you say to people. Be lenient on what you explain to people, because like I said, people are quick to make it seem like that you're crazy and that you're insane. But like, you as a female, you only know what you're going through. You're the only person that's gonna know what you're going through, because you're the only person that's going through it. So like how I was like depressed all 2024 and 2023, didn't nobody know how to handle that, or didn't nobody know how to deal with that with me, because I was the only person that was going through that. It wasn't nobody going through that with me. I was the only person that was feeling that. Wasn't nobody feeling that with me. You know what I'm saying? So like certain thoughts and feelings and stuff like that I go through, people will never understand what that feels like, because they're not me. They're not going through the same thing that I'm going through, so they will never understand what it is that I'm going through unless I talk about it. I say like the main person who really knows and who really feels is probably my best friend, my mom, and my brother, and that's it, because those are the three main people, and one of my closest friends. Those are like the four main people that I really talk about if I'm if I'm really like going through anything serious, because I know that they could talk me down if I'm thinking stuff that I shouldn't be thinking. But be real lenient on what you say and how you say it, because like I said, you don't know who's going back telling them what. And then really, if you telling somebody something, it should be what they say, sacred. Is that how you say it? Sacred? Because what you tell that person shouldn't be going to anybody else but between you and that person, because what you're going through is not nothing that everybody else needs to know. So like, as a female, like, be lenient on what you say. That's another reason why we're misunderstood, because people sit up there and ask us why we don't speak on our feelings, why we don't, you know what I'm saying, open up and say something about what we're going through until it's like too late, and now you can't pick up the phone and call this person. You can't pick up the phone and like you can't see this person in person no more. You know what I'm saying? People always ask why, and the reason being why is because we're judged so much for it that we completely shut down. So it is harder for females to express their feelings because our feelings get overplayed, or they try to downplay what we're going through. Like, people will say it's for attention, or people will say that we just making it up. But then at the same time, like I said, you don't nobody know what you're going through because they not going through what you're going through. So in a lot of cases, in a lot of situations, when you depressed and sad now, and like when you, even if you're on your last dollar, you gonna always feel like that you going through that by yourself because nobody else in the world. You will feel like, okay, let me say this. Sometimes if I'm sad and I'm down and out, or if I'm going through something, I'll feel like I'm the only person in the world that's going through what I'm going through. And then like I'll get on Facebook or something like that, and I'll see like other posts and stuff like that. And so also I'm like, okay, well, there's people around me that like on social media that could kind of relate to what I'm going through. You know what I'm saying? So even if you do feel like you're alone, like sometimes you are, but then sometimes there are people that you can relate to, or if you know somebody who's like a suicide survivor or anything like that, it's always good to like, if they're your friends, I wouldn't tell you to just, you know what I'm saying, talk to a random person, like, because you don't know if that's a trigger for them or not. But if they're comfortable with like speaking on it and stuff like that, like I would say ask them, because like people like that, I feel like can be motivational speakers and tell other people, or like kids and stuff like that, like, hey, I overcame this is what I did to overcome this. And like their story could become an inspiration for your survival. It could become an inspiration for you to keep pushing forward. You know what I'm saying? So like, reach out. It's basically what I'm trying to say. Like, reach out, but reach out to people that you know that you can trust. As a female, I don't even want to speak on like relationships because I'm not even in a relationship myself, but I do see a lot that when you're in a relationship and you're trying to talk to your partner about like what's making you uncomfortable, what you feeling like, why you feel like this shouldn't be happening, why you feeling like that should be happening, and they take it and they turn it into arguing. And when you're not arguing, you're just trying to get a point across and you're trying to express your feelings. You have to then, like, in the midst of that, all of this, like this, all of that start happening, right? So now it's like, okay, I'm about to lose my relationship because I'm trying to talk to my spouse, and my spouse is trying to thinking that I'm arguing, when in reality I'm just trying to get a point across. Take a few steps back, take a deep breath, calm down, breathe, and say like, I'm trying to get you to understand this. Like I said, us as girls, we talking code. Like, we talking code in a code, in a language that we only us as females understand. Males ain't gonna never understand it. We as females talking code that only us understand. So when you're doing that, try not to talk in code at least a little bit, so that way like the person won't be struggling to read in between the lines, because you know people be slow. So they're not struggling to like read in between the lines of what you're saying. Like, make it straight up, so they're not confused on what you're saying. So for an example, like, let me say, let's see okay, let's just say you have a boyfriend, okay, and he has like a female friend, and let's just say like that female friend and him are like too buddy with each other, okay, like too close, like holding hands, like hugs, like when he reached down and like hugs like that. Let's just say that you say something about that, and you are like, let's say you approach him like, I'm not trying to make an argument and I'm not trying to start anything, but I feel like you and your friend should have boundaries with each other if y'all are if you are in a relationship. And then he'd be like, okay, well, you trying to start an argument with me or something, and then be like, no, because then that's when you gotta take a step back and be like, no, I'm just saying that I've seen some things that I do not like, and I would appreciate it if you respected me. You know what I'm saying? So something like that. Something like that. You can't ask me for relationship advice. I ain't never been in a real relationship before. I'm just saying. Like, that's another reason why females are misunderstood. The biggest reason why we are understood, I'm gonna keep saying it through the whole video, is because we talk in code. Okay, but before, like, you open up to a person, you always want to woosah and calm down. Make sure that you're calm. Make sure that you're here. Make sure that you're straight. Make sure that you are attentive when you get ready to do this, because you don't want to be like thrown off track or anything like that, because you start talking too fast. Like, females, you know how, like, when we get mad and stuff and we like talk too fast and like our words start getting jittery and jattered up and stuff like that. Yes, we don't. If you're expressing your feelings, you don't want to do that, because let me tell y'all, I went to therapy, and when I was in therapy all last year, I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about what I was going through. I recognized like what the problem was deep down inside, and I feel like therapy helped me a lot. And I really do recommend it. Like, it does help a lot. But it was amazing to me how I could open up to a stranger and just like tell them my whole life story and just cry and pour my eyes out than I can with like anybody that I know. You know what I'm saying? And not be judged, or like not like people. If I tell people stuff, like, they won't say like, oh yeah, you need to get checked into a mental hospital or something like that. Like, that's another reason why, like, we open up to people and they automatically think like you need to go get help. You're mentally ill, you're sick, you're insane, and you're not. And the whole time you're just trying to get people to understand why you feel the way that you feel. And like I said, us as females, we gonna always be misunderstood, because people gonna take it as we trying to argue or we trying to be disrespectful, when in reality we just trying to get our point across. So this is the end of the video. I hope you guys liked the video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Turn that post notification on so you get notified every time Shay posts a video, so that you can become part of the gang. We are currently up 191 subscribers. We want to reach our 200 subscriber goal before January ends. So make sure you are liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing my videos, even if you're watching on a big screen. Did I introduce myself to all my new subscribers? You know what I say, it's rude not to introduce yourself. So if I haven't, I'm Shay. I cook, I do vlogs. If you start a small business, I can help you with your small business. Leave your comments down below on what y'all think, and leave your comments down below on some videos that y'all would like to see, and I will try to get them done for y'all, especially more girl talk ideas. I do have a video I want to do in this day in the life video. I never done one before, but I really do want to do one this time. Make sure y'all follow me on everything at Totally Different Shay, and I will see y'all in the next video.
Stop